Hello and welcome to another True Crime Tarot reading. Today I'm going to do a reading on the 4 Idaho students that were killed recently. The victims were Madison Mogen, 21, Kaylee Goncalves, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20, are the 4 victims we are reading on today. So we're going to start with the Sage Lavender Smudge Spray. Take a couple of deep breaths. And call these victims to join us tonight. I just want to put my intentions out there that I am here to be an open conduit to tell whatever messages or story you have to share with us tonight. The decks I will be potentially using is the Tarot of the Haunted House, which is this deck here. I may use my Moonology Oracle deck, and if I feel like it's needed, I may use this Dark Mirror Oracle card deck. I'm going to set these to the side for right now. We are going to start with our tarot cards. Now, I do have the guidebook with this deck. I typically try not to use it, but occasionally, if I'm stumped up, I may use it for inspiration and a better idea of the message trying to be shared and conveyed. I'm going to start with shuffling the deck, and I would like to pull a card for each. We have the Queen of Wands. I would like to start with pulling a card for each person. We're going to hold this for a second. Number 1. I'm going to forget their names, so we're just going to refer to them by numbers. This is not intended to be a slight against them or to dehumanize them. It is because I don't know enough about their story, nor am I going to be capable of remembering their names at this time. So please forgive me on that. Number 1, if you would like to come forward and identify yourself, give me a card describing who you are and what we should know about you. Number 2, if you would like to come forward and identify yourself, and give us a card describing you and what we should know about you. Number 3, if you could come forward and give us a card describing yourself and what we should know about you. So I feel like this one's what you wanted. And number 5. Okay. I'm sorry, number 4. So those are our initial cards. This is the 5 of Swords. I'm going to make some assumptions and assume that this is one of the female victims, and I get the sense that she's kind of petty. I don't don't get like an evil, malicious feeling from this, but I definitely do get a if you stabbed me in the back, I'm gonna stab you in the back sort of feel for this. It's a defensive petty. It's not a direct in your face aggressive petty. Next we have the Eight of Wands. If I had to guess, this is one of the men. And this is an intense person. This is go hard, go fast sort of person. Maybe somebody who's a bit impulsive. I would even say maybe even hot-headed with all of this fire here. Yeah, I just kind of get the impression that this person is intense and is a bit forward, maybe even a bit blunt, but also passionate. Like I said, I feel like this is one of the men. Next, we have the Queen of Swords. I want to read these names again because I feel like, what do we have here? We've got Madison, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. So is this 3 girls and a boy? Is that what's happening? Yes. That is exactly what happened here. Interesting. Okay, so this makes sense already. So we have our 3 girls here. We've got our boy here. So one of our girls, she's intelligent. She's smart. She's sharp. Sometimes in some ways this can mean that she can kind of be cold sometimes and maybe even kind of cruel. They're very logical and don't typically act on emotion. This person also would be more reserved and maybe in some ways a bit more antisocial, which could be interesting. And our final girl here, we have the Nine of Wands, and as you can see, she's kind of like escaping this maze. And this feels like someone who, one, is really into the escapism, but also is running away from something. Also, we've got the Wands here, so again, a very passionate person. I would also say, like, not necessarily self-inflicting, but like 9 is a difficult number because it's not, it's the end, but it isn't the completed transformation or the transition. So I think that's also very interesting here, like what sort of numerology we got going on. So that would be our 4. And then we have the Queen of Wands here, and this feels like the killer, this Queen of Wands. Again, female, someone who's very sort of dominant and passionate and aggressive. We've got this fire energy going on here. You've got like this crown above her head, which is very interesting. I believe I was kind of hearing about there's other roommates that were not killed, but I wonder what the gender of those roommates were. Was this another roommate with these 4? And what happened to escalate the situation? So I think we're going to start with just what happened. Tell me what happened. What caused this? And I think that's a question a lot of people have right now. Is like, what led up to all of this? Can you give us a better understanding of the context to this situation? Okay. So first of all, we have this 4 of Cups. So we're already looking at some dissociation, some distance, some depression, some pulling away of sorts. It's interesting, you can see this hand here kind of holding this cup, and she's kind of looking away from it, almost in like a sort of rejection. Next, we have this Page of Cups, or excuse me, we have this Knight of Cups, and it's super weird. Okay, so just because of the way that like I did this, we have our four victims up here. We have kind of the situation leading up to this, and then you have what I'm going to presume is the killer here. Now, if you look at it from this aspect of like, this card is under these two. So we have this distance between these two people. And then we have this Knight of Cups between these two. And this almost looks like a relationship, a connection, an instinctual following your heart. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is both hard work and rewards and grounding yourself, and just could also be money, where all the money in the house was coming from. But we have this between these two, which also feels like these two are like working, because if I'm going to read this the way that I'm kind of setting it up, we've got distance bringing these two apart. We've got these two coming closer, and then these two working together. With her down here. It's like she's watching this happen. That's so weird. So we have the Seven of Cups, which is about choices and desires and what do you want, and having the opportunity to make different choices and have different outcomes. And then we have the Nine of Cups, which is like actually achieving the things you desire. We have the World, which, so this is like getting what you want, and this is the completion of getting what you want. Like you did the thing. It's like she feels like retaliation, to be honest. And then the Sun, after she completed her task, which feels like she got exactly what she wanted and she felt better about it. So this feels like emotionally the killer got what they wanted. And again, I'm going to assume it is a woman. I'll be fascinated to see if this comes out the other way. We have the reverse Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of like reaping rewards, but in the reverse sense, like you're doing a lot of work for little reward. We have the Fool reversed, which means she's not being naive. She's not dumb. She's not like, oh my god, I can't believe I do this. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, which is interesting because I was just listening to a reading today where the Ace of Pentacles was used to reference evidence. But in this case, I think it's about a missed opportunity, but also like because of her actions, because she got what she wanted emotionally, she's now kind of screwed herself over in every other sense of the word, because now she's a mass murderer. I would like to be proven wrong, but it's not great. So we have the Hierophant, which is, like the time that I pulled it and what I was saying, it felt like a validation of like, yeah, she's emotionally happier, but at the same time, like, her, if they're enrolled in school, like, that's compromised. Like, she, in some ways, like, she's kind of lost, I think. And then also because now we're missing money and all this other stuff. We've got the Ace of Wands here, which is like a new spark, a new flame, a new idea. And we have the Knight of Wands, which is kind of like acting on this idea. We got the Two of Cups reversed, which is interesting because it's kind of like an anti-lovers card, but it's also just like a loss of connection. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed, which again, there's a problem with money here. And then we have the Hierophant reversed, which is also very interesting because not only is this kind of like, now we've crossed the more morally ethic line, but also like there's no leadership, there's no direction, there's no support or help anymore. What's this about relationships? Like romantic relationships. Strength. I don't know what these girls got themselves involved into, but is this about romantic relationships? And this upright strength just seems like a definite yes. And then I asked if this was about the house, like chores and other domestic disputes, and we got the King of Cups reversed, which just feels like a hard no, like it doesn't connect, it doesn't resonate. But then I asked if this is about Ethan, and we get the Three of Pentacles, and very similar to the Three of Wands. Like, this is a third person, it's a love triangle. I mean, you can literally see the triangle here. For whatever reason, there's money involved here because this is a Pentacles, or some other like physical aspect in the world. There's some asset that's being shared, and the fact that these two, this right here, this triangle exists. I don't know if these two girls had money and that attracted Ethan. Like, it feels like somehow this is about jealousy, money, and assets. I don't know how all of that correlates, but that is the motivation behind this. There's some sort of romantic relationship going on, there's a financial asset relationship going on, and there's jealousy. Like, this just seems like I am the most jealous person, the most like, and for whatever reason, it is centered around Ethan. And it's funny because when I asked if this is about Ethan and I pulled the Three of Pentacles, there's one guy and two girls. Like, it's sad that there are additional casualties to the situation, but I'm gonna have to follow this case and kind of see what else comes out of it. I'm actually kind of interested. I want to pull some Dark Mirror Oracle quickly. Tell me about the killer. What's going on with her? Tell me about her. I'm very confident it's a woman. It's a girl. It's a woman. What happened? Give me the deets. Give me the tea. And I want to just thank everybody for joining me for this reading. I really appreciate it. We literally got revenge. Like, remember in the beginning when I said there was some pettiness going on and I got some pettiness energy? And I was just talking about jealousy. Like, we've got revenge. And like I said, there was like, it felt very revenge-like. Masquerade, Parasite, Bride in a Cage. Yeah, there was a relationship going on here. Whoever this girl is, she's definitely hiding some stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's evidence being hidden, especially because I saw that reverse Ace of Pentacles. So definitely some hiding going on here. This Parasite, I told you there's some assets involved. Like, I think there was some mooching, as people would call it, happening, especially with some financial assets. I think one of the girls, their family had money, and maybe hers didn't. And I say hers as in the killer. And then we have Bride in a Cage, like she was trapped in this cage. And I wonder if there wasn't some sort of relationship going on with her and Ethan at some point. Because, like, there's, like, the revenge, it makes so much sense. It's like she was with him first, and then the other girls moved into the house, and then, like, they became dependent on their finances, but then he was also more attracted to them and started spending more time with them, and she was just, like, living with this and letting it fester and fester and fester, and, like, she just never could be enough, and eventually, you know, it just kind of imploded. Anything else we want to add to this? I'm going to just see. Black flower fragrance. What is that? I don't use this deck a whole lot, so sometimes I will definitely check out this guidebook to see what it has to say. The world is unfair. Yeah, that's everything just kind of coming full circle and her just really acting out this plan, this revenge. Yeah, from what I'm reading, I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been an arrest or at least an announcement of a person of interest. I did not look to see when this murder had happened, but it is relatively recent. And I just want to close this reading with a Moonology Oracle pull of, you know, what we can do with this information, where we can go with it, and you know, what messages do the people here need to hear. So if you have messages you want to deliver to family or messages you want friends to hear, here would be a place to do that. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I definitely see justice in this case. Particularly when I do true crime readings, if I get the end of a tough cycle approaches, that's my justice card in terms of like, there will be closure on this. There will be answers. It may not be the justice that the families want, but like people will know the truth. Here with our kind of third wheel girl, we have look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. She's definitely asking that people, take a broader look at this, and it isn't just so close to home, that there's many aspects involved in this. And I think that's kind of what I was sussing out is there's relationship drama, and there's like friend drama, and there's money drama, and like it didn't happen overnight. Interestingly enough, for Ethan here, we have a personal issue reaches resolution. For me, I wonder if in some ways he didn't learn a vital life lesson with his death, in the fact that like the way he treated these girls was not the best. Again, it feels more towards like there's full moons here. Yeah, I find it very interesting. But that like things will reach a resolution. We will know the truth. I don't think it's going to take very long for the truth on this matter to come out. And she definitely had the money. This last girl at the end here, she had the money. I'll definitely say that much. That makes sense. But our kind of like love triangle girl here has take time to breathe out. I think she's the only one really here kind of saying like cooler heads needed to prevail in this situation, and they have not, which means going forward we have to continue to push for a cooler head approach, because coming at this hard and aggressive is not the way to necessarily solve this problem or address this issue. I think it reinforces the look at the bigger picture, while even though this is a Sagittarius and it is fairly aggressive and forward, it's also kind of being like, hey, like this was a complicated situation. I think there was a lot of people who were responsible for some of the consequences of what happened here, but I definitely do think this killer is going to be found soon. So that is my reading on this. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you again next time.